Hey, listen. You're about to hear about some predators that were pure nightmares. These aren't just animals, they're creatures that made people run, hide, and never go outside. From leopards sneaking into homes to crocodiles flipping boats, the stories are insane. And wait until you see number 1. You'll be blown away. 8. The man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag. Starting off this list, we've something completely terrifying. This beast wasn't just a leopard. It was a nightmare with spots stretching about 7 feet nose to tail and weighing nearly 120 pounds. The Rudraprayag leopard turned the Rudraprayag district of India into a place of fear. Its story begins in 1918 with an attack in Benji village, sparking an 8-year terror streak that left 125 people dead. What made it lethal wasn't just strength, it was adaptation. When villagers stopped going outside, it broke doors, crashed through windows, even slipped through plant roofs. Once it grabbed someone, it dragged them into the dark forest for the kill. British and Gurkha soldiers tried to stop it and failed. Famous hunters failed too. Only Jim Corbett, after a 10-week chase, finally put it down on May 2, 1926. The leopard's body revealed past bullet wounds, but nothing that explained its obsession with humans. Corbett believed the key was a cholera outbreak. Unburied bodies gave the young cat an easy meal, teaching it to prefer human flesh. So when the bodies stopped, it simply hunted the food it already understood. If you ever sense one around, stay indoors, avoid traveling alone, and keep lights on 7. Gustav, the monster of Burundi moving to number 7, we've Gustav. Now, Gustav isn't just a crocodile, he's a legend, a ghost, and a massive Nile crocodile that haunts the Rusizi River and Lake Tanganyika in Burundi. Estimated at over 18 feet long and weighing more than 2,000 pounds, he dwarfs normal crocs. Locals swear he has killed 200 to 300 people, leaving entire villages living in fear. Survivors describe him as a moving wall of armor, scarred from multiple AK-47 shots. Some even believe he's basically bulletproof. Why so deadly? His enormous size makes hunting regular prey difficult, so he targets fishermen, people collecting water, and anyone close to the shore. Gustav hunts with terrifying patience. He watches, waits, then launches with explosive speed. Bodies often vanish without a trace. Attempts to capture him, including traps, nets, cameras, have all failed. He simply disappears into the river like a shadow lifestyle. Typical male Nile crocs live 70 to 100 years, and Gustav may already be decades old. When he's around, locals say, stay off the water, avoid riverbanks, and never fetch water alone. His most famous attack involved 3 men crossing the river. Only their torn boat was found. 6. The spotted devil of Gumalapur. Moving on, we've what the residents infamously named the Devil of Gumalpur. In the 1940s, a powerful male leopard claimed nearly 250 miles of jungle in Tamil Nadu, India, earning the name the Spotted Devil. Lean, muscled, about 6 to 7 feet long, and roughly 110 pounds, he became infamous for his terrifying specialty, hunting humans. Leopards are nocturnal, and this one mastered silent nighttime attacks, killing 42 people across scattered villages. Fear reshaped entire communities. People barricaded doors after sunset and even avoided going outside to use the restroom, causing a health crisis. When victims became harder to find, the leopard broke into homes through windows, roofs, or any opening it could exploit, then dragged victims into the forest. Hunter Kenneth Anderson was finally called in. After 3 tense nights, a stray dog he had befriended sensed danger. Anderson spotted the leopard on the roof, lost it in the dark, then, moments later, heard the dog bark, a warning. The leopard charged. Anderson fired 3 shots from his .405 Winchester, killing it instantly. The examination revealed the cause of its behavior. Porcupine quills lodged painfully between its toes, preventing it from hunting normal prey. When the pain made hunting impossible, it turned to the one thing easier to catch: humans. The stray dog? Anderson adopted him forever. 5. Osama, the terror of Lake Victoria. Let's go to East Africa, where our number 5 has unleashed carnage already. Osama wasn't an ordinary crocodile. He was a 15-foot, 1,000-pound monster who ruled Lake Victoria from 1991 to 2005. Locals believed he killed over 83 people, though many say the real number is higher because victims often vanished without a trace. Osama attacked fishers, children collecting water, and even people simply walking along the shore, sometimes only shredded clothing or a severed limb washed up. What made him truly terrifying was his signature move, boat capsizing attacks. Osama learned to ram small canoes from below, flipping fishermen into the water before lunging upward with crushing force. Witnesses claimed he could even launch vertically and belly flop onto boats, using his weight to pin and grab his prey. Out of all his attacks, only 15 survivors ever lived to describe the nightmare Osama hunted like a ghost, striking at dawn or dusk and melting back into the muddy water. Nile crocodiles can live 70 to 100 years, and Osama behaved like an apex king, patrolling his territory with cold patience. Villagers avoided the shoreline entirely, never going alone, never bending near the water, and never fishing in shallow boats. In 2005, Osama was finally captured and killed, ending the reign of Lake Victoria's most feared predator 4, the man-eating lions of Tsavo. At number 4, we've a couple of lions. These weren't just lions. They were 2 male man-hunting giants who terrorized railway workers in Tsavo, Kenya during 1898, known as the Tsavo man-eaters. They struck between March and December, dragging workers from their tents at night and devouring them. Official records list 28 to 31 Indian workers killed. But because no one documented missing African laborers, estimates soar as high as 138 victims. At first, only 1 lion entered the camps, taking a single victim to share. But soon, both lions became bold, slipping into tents nightly. Each claiming a kill, panic exploded. Workers deserted the project, bringing construction to a halt. 20 Indian soldiers were sent to hunt the lions. They failed completely. On December 9, 1898, Colonel John Henry Patterson wounded the first lion with a high-caliber shot to the back leg. It returned that same night, where Patterson shot it through the heart. The second lion was an unstoppable tank, shot 9 times over 11 days with 3 different guns, before finally collapsing to Patterson's final bullet. Today, their preserved bodies stand in the Field Museum of Chicago, reminders of the most famous man-eating lions in history. 3. The Pinar Man-Eater. We're getting close. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Fur Facts, where we post fascinating stories about the most dangerous animals from around the world. At number 3, we've the Pinar Man-Eater. The Pinar Man-Eater was not just another predator. It was a nightmare that stalked the Almora district of India in the early 20th century. This male leopard claimed more than 400 lives, striking only in the dead of night. Villagers lived in constant terror, refusing to step outside after sunset. But fear alone didn't save them. The leopard adapted, slipping into homes, dragging victims into the forest before anyone realized what had happened. For years, he hunted undisturbed, becoming a shadow the people could not escape. Desperate and traumatized, the locals turned to the only man they believed could end the horror, Jim Corbett. Known for tracking and killing man-eaters across India, Corbett faced a challenge unlike any before. This leopard was elusive, silent, strategic, and terrifyingly intelligent. Corbett's hunt took multiple expeditions. He trekked for days through dense forest, even enduring a bout of malaria, but refused to give up. Finally arriving in the Pinar region, he set up a treetop post and tied a small goat 30 yards away as bait. Hours passed. As darkness closed in, the first warning came, birds erupting in panic. Then, something moved in the bushes beside him. He could hear it breathe, but couldn't see it. Minutes dragged by before the unseen predator slipped toward the goat, killing it instantly. In pitch-black darkness, Corbett fired in the direction of the sound. He heard a grunt. The leopard had been hit, but it vanished back into the jungle. The villagers begged Corbett to track it immediately. He agreed only after they swore to hold their torches steady, as they were his only source of light. But when the wounded leopard charged out of the darkness, panic erupted. Torches fell, people scattered. In the chaos, Corbett fired multiple shots, finally bringing down the man-eater. Later, he wrote that if the villagers hadn't fallen and dropped their torches, he might have been left in total darkness, and the encounter could have ended very differently. 2. The Tigers of Chowgar. At number 2, we've the Tigers of Chowgar. The Tigers of Chowgar were a deadly Bengal tiger duo, an aging tigress and her young adult cub, who turned the rugged Kumaon region of India into a place of terror from 1925 to 1930. Over 5 long years, they claimed 64 confirmed lives, hunting across nearly 1,500 square miles of steep mountains, deep forests, and scattered villages. Their strategy was as brutal as it was effective. Attack one village, disappear into the terrain, then strike another before anyone could predict their movements. After 3 years of relentless fear, the villagers finally reached out to the one man known for facing the monsters no one else dared to confront, Jim Corbett. But these tigers wouldn't be taken easily. It took Corbett 3 separate expeditions over 2 years just to get close. On his 3rd attempt, on the 19th day of the hunt, Corbett arrived in the tiny village of Kala Agar. The last known hotspot, he hung buffalo meat as bait and waited. Soon, a companion whispered a warning. The tigers were near. Turning a corner, Corbett suddenly found himself just 8 feet from the tigress. Sitting calmly beside a boulder, she gave him one split-second opportunity. Corbett fired, ending her reign and later killing the cub. When he examined her, the truth emerged. Broken claws, shattered canines, and worn teeth had forced her to turn to humans to survive. 1. The Devil of India. Finally, we've the deadliest man-eater in history. This creature wasn't just feared, it was mythic. Known as the Devil of India, this Bengal tigress remains the deadliest animal in recorded history, responsible for an estimated 436 human deaths across Nepal and the Kumaon region of India. Her killings began in western Nepal, where for 3 years villagers lived in terror. Hunters failed. Even when the Nepalese army intervened, they only managed to push her across the border, into India, where the nightmare continued. In Kumaon, she hunted with disturbing precision, rotating kills between villages and striking in broad daylight. Freezing communities with fear, people stopped working. Fields turned empty. Entire villages locked themselves indoors. This horror lasted another 4 years. A bounty was offered, attracting famous hunters, but all failed. Then, in 1907, a 31-year-old unknown hunter named Jim Corbett took the challenge, refusing the money. After a brutal 4-day trek, Corbett reached the region and found what looks like a ghost town. The tigress had been roaring nearby for days. Corbett examined the latest attack site, finding only bones. Before he could recover, news of another attack arrived. He ran to the next village, only to find she had struck again. He followed the blood trail until dusk, glimpsing her silhouette before darkness forced him to stop. The next morning, Corbett devised a plan. Villagers would bang pots and scream, pushing the tigress toward the grassland where he waited. But the villagers started too early, forcing him to sprint through the jungle, tripping over rocks and roots to reach his position before she did. Out of breath, he reached the clearing, then saw her emerge exactly where he predicted. His first shot wounded her hind leg. The second missed. She vanished behind a rock. Corbett climbed after her, when suddenly she reappeared on another boulder, charging straight at him. At the last second, Corbett fired a 3rd shot, dropping her instantly. The cause of her man-eating streak became clear. Her top and bottom jaws were broken, likely from a failed hunting attempt by another hunter years earlier. Unable to kill natural prey, she turned to the only thing she could overpower: humans. After 7 years and over 430 lives lost, the terror finally ended. Villages returned to life, and Corbett became a legend. India would later name its first national park after him, Jim Corbett National Park. These animals weren't just hunters, they were legends of terror. From stealthy leopards to monstrous crocs, their stories will stick with you. Which one made your jaw drop the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insane real-life predator stories.